Hi friends, I have some interesting real estate market news that I want to share with you today, ranging from a market update all the way to how cryptocurrencies have snuck their way into the real estate industry. So let's jump into it. The National Association of Realtors reported 5.99 million home sales for July, which was an excellent beat of their estimates and a sign that the market is not slowing down or crashing like some may believe. If existing home sales are doing good for the year, they should continue to trend between 5.8 to 6.2 million. Although we are right on track at 5.99 million, the real estate market we are experiencing is still quite an unhealthy one. Unlike the credit boom that could not be sustained and crashed the market in 2008, today's unhealthy market is due to a lack of inventory and extreme price growth. This is something that I know you guys are experiencing. Americans want a place to live, and due to lack of inventory, buyers have had to bid on homes, causing prices to rise to extreme levels. Research from the National Association of Realtors shows that the median existing home price for all housing types in July was $359,900. This is up 17.8% from last year, a jump of over $50,000. Imagine looking at the same house a year ago for $50,000 less than now. In the early months of this year, you may have seen headlines talk about the record-breaking number of sales and how May 2021 sales were up over 44% from May of last year. Now, although that statistic is technically true, I want to warn you guys not to get too caught up in the data hype and people who try to spin data into something that it's not. Yes, technically sales in May of this year were up over 44% from May of 2020, but that's because in 2020, the world shut down and there were barely any sales. So let's think about this logically. The world really started to shut down in April of 2020. Well, with the world shutting down and people not going under contract or listing their homes, we did not see then many sales in that next month of May. This makes sense given the circumstances. I bring all of this up because as NAR research shows, sales in July of 2021 are up year over year by only 1.5%. Now, it's likely that in the next few months, we may start to see a negative trend in year-over-year data. Do not let crash gurus convince you that this means that a crash is coming. We're still sitting at a healthy number of sales right now, but it can be expected that our year-over-year metric may go negative as we start to enter the months where the U.S. saw a massive increase in recovering home sales last year due to the pandemic. In my opinion, it will be interesting to see if seasonality influences the market this year, and if sales slow down or stay pretty steady. If you have not bought a house yet, let me know in the comments below if you think that you will buy this year or if you're planning on waiting it out until at least 2022. In other news, last week, the U.S. Census Bureau reported that new housing starts hit 1.53 million for July. This was actually a miss of their estimates. Permits, on the other hand, beat estimates, coming in at 1.635 million. If you aren't familiar, housing starts refers to pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The start of construction on new housing projects, typically a good thing. Housing starts fell by 7% in July compared to last month's 1.65 million starts, an indication that construction supply lines are still choked despite lower lumber prices and near record high home prices shutting out many buyers. Despite this news, economists did find some silver linings in the data. Even though construction starts declined in July relative to June, single-family starts remain almost 12% higher than this time last year, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association. The association's chief economist said, "There are now almost 690,000 single-family homes under construction, the largest number since 2007. This is clearly a positive sign given the remarkably low inventory on the market." So you may be wondering, If the cost of building materials like lumber is starting to go down and inventory is still low, why aren't more builders building? And it all comes down to margins. Today's census report shows that the builders are managing their supply to protect their own margins. From 2002 to 2005, builders got greedy and they oversupplied the market with new construction homes. Permits for those single-family homes are still higher than July of last year and remain higher than the level of starts. The pace of construction should continue to increase, particularly if supply chain constraints begin to loosen. But builders are still going to be hesitant this time around and are showing more signs of caution when it comes to starting new construction. Limited access to key building supplies has upped prices for materials and translated to higher list prices for would-be home buyers, said Zillow economist Matthew Speakman. Home shoppers remain eager and demand for housing remains strong, but sticker shock may also have prevented some shoppers from committing to a purchase. The supply backlog has also limited home builders' ability to confidently pencil out the finances surrounding potential projects, a significant constraint for the typically risk-averse industry. Now, for those of you that may be really into Bitcoin, you may be excited to know that United Wholesale Mortgage, the second largest mortgage lender in the US, announced that they will accept cryptocurrency for home loans by the end of this year. They have made a statement claiming that they want to be the first lender to do so on a national mortgage level. The Detroit Free Press reported that the company plans to accept Bitcoin at first, but is also currently evaluating other cryptocurrencies in hopes to accept more than one by the end of this year. I'll be the first to admit, I'm interested to see how this plays out. I bought into Bitcoin early on, but prematurely sold when it started to crash. With so many firm lending standards out there, I am intrigued to see how accepting Bitcoin may call for some changes to current lending policies on sourcing funds for costs like a down payment. Speaking of down payment, if you are looking to buy your first house and have heard of down payment assistance, but are not sure if it is something that you should look into, check out this video where I share my personal experience and some things to consider when weighing your down payment options. I'm Nicole Nark, Arkansas real estate broker, with videos to help you find your way home. I will see you in the next one.